To the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traigan lo nuevo. A huevo. Doesn't matter where you from. Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos. Soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another edition of LA Galaxy Group Therapy, Sadful Hours, Awita Hours, whatever you want to call it. It is here for you. Welcome back to all you LA Galaxy fans and all you Lacuna Galaxians. We appreciate you stopping by this humble little pod and hanging out with us once again and seeing what's going down in LA Galaxy Landia. Today, we're going to be reacting to the LA Galaxy's disappointing 2-1 road loss to St. Louis City on Sunday, September 1st. A sweltering defeat that made the Galaxy lose ground in the Supporter Shield race, snap their win streak, and saw them fail to open up more room atop the Western Conference over their city rivals. But before we get into all of that, let me introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find all my written work at Extra Time Talk, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And since I'm here, of course, you know that the homie, the one and only, Ride or Die G, El Yerno Guapo, Gitano Perdido, and Ananda Kirana is back with you in the house. Papa, I'm just trying to liven it up and laugh so we don't cry. But you know, how did you take in that defeat? And chat, start dropping those one-word reactions in to the chat so we know how you're feeling.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, maybe for the positive, I actually didn't catch most of the match, or I caught maybe, I would say 55, 60 minutes of it because I was in a car on the way to the Bay Area, which that's where I am right now. I'm recording for you guys live and direct from a hotel in an undisclosed location of the Bay Area. I'm in Dock B, as you can tell right there.
And you surviving. Said it as
Sir, yeah. And surviving off of that janky hotel internet, but it is what it is, right? And so I guess it was a positive that I didn't catch much of the game. I caught the most important bits. The internet was kind of going in and out. I was in my car in the backseat just trying to watch the game. But yeah, maybe positively so. I didn't catch that. So, but sporting wise, it was a tough weekend for me, man. Of course, you know, my Premier League team did not do so well as well. So these are tough ones to take. But all I'm gonna say is, as it relates to the LA Galaxy, as I think about it again, it was humbling, and that's gonna be my one-word match reaction, man. It was a humbling lesson. I think it was a humbling moment. You know, like our heads are so like pie in the sky right now. We're all gassed as Galaxy fans, right? Because we're doing well this year and the turnaround as we think about last year. But it's these games that bring us down to earth, right? It's these games that kind of give us a reality check, one that we probably need to say, okay, to get to an elite status, like these are the games that we're missing right now. So for me, I think it was humbling in a lot of ways. And I don't say that as a negative, but I say that as okay, like that extra 10%, we know what we need to work on. And so we just got to get to it. I think it was a humbling lesson that I think we surely needed. So
what to say about that? I don't even know. Like I mean, if I took the position that yes, like I'm going to back it up. I don't agree because I think these gents should have come out and handled business. Like it's not a humbling lesson. I think at the end of the day, Greg knows and they know that they came out just like GCam says, flat. They didn't play their best game. They made mental errors that they shouldn't have, up to and including, just silly things that are gonna hurt the team in the bigger sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't agree in that sense, because just like I said, if that's my position on that. So but let's say that I were to take your position, like it is humbling, then yes, it is again one of those things that we have to look at and say teams know how to beat this LA Galaxy team. It's with the high press, it's with the transition, it's with a good transition attack. Win the ball up high, and half the job is done for you. So
yeah,
I mean,
well, keep in mind,
it's unfortunate that this performance happened. Like you said, maybe it's a gut check, but you mentioned the word elite. I mean, elite teams aren't losing like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is coming from the perspective, my own personal perspective, right? And so from that, I mean, maybe for the team, they did come into us obviously like serious and prepping and all that stuff. But at least for me as a fan, I'm thinking that we have not only the capability that we are an elite team, especially if you look at our record, but it's these types of games that for me as a fan, again, this is my personal one-word reaction, right? It brings me down another level. I'm like, okay, hold your horses. Like, this team still has work to do to win an MLS Cup, for example, and be in that elite team. So that's all I'm trying to portray here.
Well, mine is disappointing. We've said it a bunch of times on this pod. The Bears were who we thought they were, and you know what? Yeah. Like I was surprised that these cats didn't show up. Like everything was there for them to take it. Open up a bigger lead in the West. Just start to sew up the number 1 seed, get home field advantage. Get that psychological boost before you go into a very, very important El Tráfico, where if you win, it's basically like, very, very hard mathematically to overcome and beat you to the number 1 seed. So yeah, man, just disappointing. I'm pretty sure that Greg felt it too. GCam also said, GCam, you're on fire today. Said, y'all see that shot of Vanny crouching, holding his face around the 80th minute? Dude was over it. I mean, yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone was over it. I mean, like, but I don't know what it was. There was just like a sense of malaise. I don't know if it was the heat. I don't know if it was like, I don't know. They just weren't. They just didn't hit top gear. They never got out of the races, and that's like a very like English Premier League expression. They never got to the races, But it's true, man. They never hit their gear and showed the Galaxy that we know and love. But we'll get into all of it. We got into a lot of it already, but that's just a little micro preview. Can you tell we're in the feels about this one?
Yeah.
Or at least I am.
This is group therapy. Yeah, this is group therapy for sure.
Yeah, no, at least I am. But Ananda, before we go any further, of course, you got to do that housekeeping, baby, because you got to tell the peoples where to find us and all that good stuff, and also, we have a little something happening on Thursday. Maybe you give the peeps a preview.
Yeah, well, maybe you can. Like I said, I like kind of doing some of these shout outs. But anyways,
did you see how Raul G hit me too? Dang.
I mean, yeah, it was a tough sporting weekend for sure. But guys, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana, as you can see on the screen there for all you video watchers. And of course, you can find us on all of your socials at Laguna Galaxiana. Really appreciate the support, guys. It's been awesome. All the love has been great, and getting up there in the subs count. So if you like what you're listening to and you have not subscribed to this channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash those likes up. That's the best way you're going to support this channel right now. Although we do have some stuff coming, we will make that announcement for some other ways that you can support the channel in the very near future. So guys, keep it locked with us for darn sure. And of course, as Rob always says, share the love. If you have any other Galaxy fans or primos or tías or tíos, abuelitos, abuelitas, even though tenemos que hablar un poquito más de español, porque ya lo sé que la mayoría no hablan mucho de inglés, entonces no se van a entender, pero just share the love, and you could just share that up with them. And of course, Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Group Therapy Session of La Cuna Galaxiana. Let's hit it, papa. Yeah, exactly.
Dang. Anyway, yeah, we have after today, after this group therapy session on Thursday, we're not going to be with you live, but it's for a good reason. I mean, we got the stash to come and sit with us for a while, and bring you his impressions on the Galaxy from the past, present, and the future. So watch out for that one on Thursday, dropping at the normal hour. So shout out Tom. We always say, like, don't meet your heroes, and we always say that expression is wrong. It's true, man. Tommy was a prince. We met him earlier in the year, and he was great then. He was great with us today, and yeah. So blessings to you, Tom. Thank you so much for your time. Watch out, guys. Ananda and El Profe Alex Ruiz, they busted another Los GATACTICOS video. You guys have already know it already dropped. This one is the Marco Reus. Is he the perfect signing for the Galaxy? Guys, I mean, you guys saw what they did with the Gabriel Pecci video. They were sages, they were oracles, they were calling stuff out before Gabriel Pecci was even doing it on the field for the Galaxy, and now you have the opportunity to check out the Marco Reus version of that Los GATACTICOS. They work hard on it, so go ahead and hook them up. So shout out to El Profe Alex Ruiz. Getting into the shout outs proper here. Happy birthday to LA Galaxy legend Mike McGee, a glittering 14-year career. And he won the MLS MVP in 2013 while playing for his hometown Chicago Fire. While with the LA Galaxy, McGee won 2 MLS Cups in 2011 and 2012, notch game winners in the 2011 Western Conference semifinals and Western Conference Championship to take the Galaxy to MLS Cup in 2011. He made 125 appearances all told for the Galaxy in the regular season with 26 goals and 15 assists. And in 20 playoff games, he had 8 goals and 1 assist. I mean, really, man, there was one playoff year where he was like the next guy behind Keno and Donovan. He was just magic. He was one of my favorite players. It bummed me out super hardcore when he left for Chicago, but he left for family reasons. So, he left being the sneaky fox that he is. So if you guys haven't tried his spirits, go ahead and check out Sneaky Fox. Happy birthday to him, the legend Mike McGee. Once upon a time, the goalkeeper who kept San Jose out. So yeah, man, I hope you had a beautiful day. Guys, we've brought you this one already. The Galaxy are throwing Central American Heritage Night in collaboration with AFCHA. You guys know them. Pupusas with a purpose. Go ahead and support them, man. I mean, everything that they're doing, you see the fruits of their labor, and certainly the fruits of their labor are being felt in Central America. So they're going to be doing the celebration of Central American Heritage on September 21st versus Vancouver. Go ahead and pick up your tickets at lagalaxy.com/AFCHA. Guys, whenever you do, it includes a donation to AFCHA's cost-free youth programs, and you'll get an LA Galaxy / Central American Heritage coffee mug para que se tomen su cafecito, para que, se tomen su vinito o su whiskito, como sea, bien sea como si el Galaxy gana o pierde. So, no sabemos. Pero en esta ocasión, creo que es algo fuerte como el whisky, pero we're going to keep it going here. Congratulations to Dejan Jovilic, marked his 100th career appearance for the Galaxy when he made his appearance in the 77th minute as a sub. It's just great to see that man back. He became the 33rd player in club history to make 100 appearances for the team, and he's totaled 45 goal contributions in those 100 games, 31 goals, 14 assists across 4 seasons, 2021 to present. Man, like I said, he's sorely missed. His goals as well. Welcome back, Decky. And congratulations to your 100 games. And then congratulations to Ruben Ramos Jr. earlier in the week, he signed a contract with the Galaxy. The Galaxy signed the Academy and Ventura FC product to a 3.5-year contract that begins effective in 2024 through the end of 27 with a club option for 2028. He's going to occupy a homegrown player slot. Guys, if you remember, he was signed on an emergency contract by the Galaxy earlier in the year as a homegrown player contract on February 19th, 2024. And he became the third youngest player signing in club history. The 17-year-old, who's a baller, by the way, can't wait to see it, what he can do in probably limited minutes with the first team, but when he's come on, he's been great. He's had 7 goal contributions, 5 goals, 2 assists in 16 games for VCFC, and he scored 2 goals in the FIFA U20 World Cup in Chile. And he helped them qualify as well. So congratulations to Ruben Ramos Jr. It's cool again, Ananda, that we're seeing academy products break through, get into the first team. We saw Ruben Ramos Jr. at the CVI earlier in the year, just like Tommy. Hey, didn't we mention that we're throwing a Tommy episode on Thursday? Just shout out on that one. But anyway, we saw Ruben Ramos at the beginning of the year at CVI. We saw Harbor Miller, who played great as well. So it's great to see these academy players get a chance under Greg Vanney and being developed. So shout out to him, and can't wait to see what he does for the Galaxy first team. Once a G, always a G. And since we were just speaking about VCFC, update on them. Their next game is at Houston Dynamo 2 on Sunday, September 8th. They are now in 3rd place after 23 matches played. Only 5 matches left in the season. They have an 8-9-6 record, and they're on 40 points at the moment. They haven't on form, they haven't been great. But you know what? 5 games left in the season. It's a stretch run. Hopefully they can pick up some points and climb up the table. Good luck, VCFC, on your next away game.
By the way, we still gotta find a day for a trip to the Willy Roll, man. It's 5 games left in the season, man. It looks beautiful up there.
Yeah, no, and honestly, like I read that it's been selling out. Like the last couple games have sold out. So we definitely got to get up there, man. I mean, take the ministers of finance to a little dinner in the OC, and then go hit the Willy Roll, and see some of our favorites like like Tucker and not Ruben Ramos anymore, but we're going to see some future LA Galaxy players for sure, because we just saw that VCFC to LA Galaxy pipeline with Ruben Ramos. So yes, we do got to get out there. Pick a day, man. Pick a day, or we'll just put a general like, hey, when does chat all want to mob up to the Willy Roll together, and let's make it happen.
There you go. Yeah, there's only a couple options, so not many options to choose from, I don't think. So there you go. 5 games.
Yeah, no, only 5 games left. So we got to get out there. Willy Roll, we are coming to you. Shout out to the G's who all got together. Despite the Galaxy not really putting in the best performance, they always put in incredible support for the Galaxy. There was Galaxy fans that we know that is usually in chat that traveled to this game. Shout out the one and only Rocio. She's definitely got to let us know about her adventures in chat at some point. The St. Louis fans received some of the Galaxy fans with open arms. You see there in the top left, them hanging out there. Of course, your IAGs got together. Your G's at the York got together, and I'm sure G's so many other places got together. Of course, this was an early one, so whew. Man, it was an early one. It was hot. I guess this is as good a time as any to get into it, right, Ananda?
Yeah, let's hit it. Let's get this over with.
Group therapy, here we come. G-Cam says T-Leps, new nickname. I dig. T-Leps. Yeah. Shout out Erm. Shout out Big Erm.
Shout out Erm Lepley, man. Real quick, some cheese may, Robert, and maybe we might get into this at some point. Maybe we won't, but Raul G, bros, can you talk about Alex and Ricky beef? It is wild. We can I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I will not, but maybe soon we can have the great man.
Maybe we can have
himself,
exactly.
and he can tell you all about his adventures. It's really his story to tell, and he's you guys have read his writing. He's a great storyteller. So I mean, I'm gonna let him do that. I'm sure we'll catch up with him at some point. I mean, I know Ananda's been catching up with him because he did Los GATACTICOS video. Really shameless plug for that video again, guys. Reward these men for their hard work. Anyway, but
so we'll leave it at that.
It's a good story. So when he tells you, I mean, you'll be entertained. But
we gotta get him on then.
I'm not even sure that I have like all like
first-hand account.
Story.
Yeah,
remember, guys.
We need
I was in Galapagos. You know,
we need a first-hand account. Exactly.
And like I said, it's a good story. The parts that I know, and I can imagine like there's even more parts that I don't that are just scrumptious, delectable. So anyway, yeah, exactly. So shout out to El Profe. You know, he knows he's got a standing invitation to come on the show whenever he wants. He just got to pull up and be like, "I want the mic, son," and we give it to him. So anyway, but yeah, let's get into this match. That's really the beef that we should be getting into, the Galaxy versus being in the win column this Sunday. Because they just did not bring it. They played in the 14th road match of the season, and they fell 2-1 away to St. Louis City in front of a sellout crowd. And Gabriel Peggy scored the Galaxy's only goal off of a Miguel Berry assist. So shout out to Miguel Berry doing Miguel Berry things out there. They could not recover from defensive mistakes, however, and poor finishing, and that handed them their winning streak being broken and handing St. Louis just their 5th win all season. And it was generally a bummer outer because they did not start well. Something we always say on this pod. I mean, always be throwing and not really possible in this situation. But Galaxy give away that first goal in the 9th minute. John McCarthy tries to clear a play out of the back, and it lands right to St. Louis, and Bishop scores the goal in the 9th minute to give St. Louis the home crowd and something to cheer about. And yeah, the Galaxy get one back just right after the half through Gabriel Pecchia, like I mentioned. Miguel Berry gives him the layoff back heel to tie it up. I mean, this was literally like right after the second half, and I was like, ooh, these boys came out pumped up, and they're going to run away with it. It was not to be. Unfortunately, like they just kept on like losing steam and getting looser, and it culminated in a loose pass in the backfield by Joseph Painso, the unbreakable one. And yeah, I mean, no one really on the team did anything to try to just win the ball back or even close men down, and it culminated in St. Louis scoring their second, which would be the game winner. So yeah, man, out of 4 matches between these two teams, there had never been a winner. I'm sorry, 3 matches. There had never been a winner. In this 4th match, St. Louis is the winner for the first time. So congratulations to them. They take the first victory in the series. It was the first start for Marco Reus. He created 1 chance, completed 2 dribbles, had a 92% pass accuracy rating in 77 minutes of action. Joseph Painso, he not only had that loose pass, but he had a moment that I can only I can only liken it to when Martin went over to the officials and was looking on the VAR screen last year and got himself a red card. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, like it's just like things where you're just like, really, bro? Like you just did that. So anyway, he will be missing the El Tráfico on September 14th due to yellow card accumulation. And yeah, man, I mean that's pretty much the way this one went down. It was just, basically the Galaxy beat themselves. Sure, St. Louis had a chance or two. I'm not going to say they didn't. But on the whole, I mean, they didn't really trouble the Galaxy too much. I mean, it was just the Galaxy just again shooting themselves in the foot. It just doing things that like you're just like, why would you do that? Like, are you trying to make Greg Vanny crouch down by himself and shake his head into his hands in the 80th minute? Because you done did it. And it was I when I saw that, I was like, yeah, man, that guy's bummed. Trust, we all were. But Ananda, let's start where we all start. Let's get into this lineup. What'd you think, man?
Well, let's see if I can pull that up. Let's see. Give me 1 second. There we go. Well, let's just react to it together on screen. I mean, we talked about some of the issues coming into this game in terms of, the injuries, Decky not being ready. We didn't know if Marco was going to start or not. He did. Kind of surprising. I think someone said it in the chat. That was GCam. Did not expect him to start. Likewise, GCam. I thought he was going to come off the bench. I think that was a forced thing, Rob. I think it's just based off of the personnel. And then he went with Delgado and Brugman as the double pivot. So he went with a double pivot this game versus a 4-3-3 with 2 8s. Of course, we didn't have Ricky, right? That was the big thing. I think that switched it all around. But other than that, no surprises, I don't think, other than maybe the Royce start. I thought he was going to, Diego was on the left, like we talked about, and Paintsil was up top. But I thought maybe he would have put Cerrillo in there, for example. But again, it is what it is, right? But yeah, as I always say on the show now, I don't really, I look at the lineup and, it is what it is. As long as it looks like we're not putting square pegs in round holes. That's the only thing that I look at, which we really weren't. It was just about how that lineup was deployed. And we think about our team, right? So it's like, if something's not going right in the game, what do we have off the bench to change that, right? You saw what Greg did in the second half, which kind of worked for the first, few. I honestly think it worked for the whole second half. Like you said, we just got unlucky on the second goal that we gave up. But I kind of look at it like that. It's just not really the lineup, but just, what do we have off the bench of the team as a whole? How are we playing as a team? Like, what's the chemistry looking like in certain situations? So yeah, but lineup didn't surprise me, I don't think, other than Royce maybe.
Yeah, that one surprised me, but then he did start, and yes, you're right. Vanny made a couple substitutions to start the second half. However, I think he got one of them right, one of them wrong. I think he should have left Diego on and taken Royce off. Yes, the man's talented, but he was obviously feeling the heat. I mean, there was points in the first half where I was like, man, this guy's not closing anyone down. He's kind of like jogging out there. And maybe I've heard say that like Messi does the same thing where he just doesn't expend the energy to run around, but he picks and chooses his moments. I don't know if there was one of those things, but I was definitely I wonder why he's not closing the person that's 2 feet away from him down. That's really weird.
He's not fit. He's not fit. That's why it was surprising for me, a little bit surprising that he started. So yeah, he's not fit, especially. And I talked about this. I think we talked about this this morning. We chatted about it. We texted about it. I told you that he's not used to not only the travel, but the heat and humidity, right? He's played in Europe his whole life. Germany, además, right? Por encima. So it's he does not get this type of weather at all in Europe. So at least in Germany. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the other big miss I thought was Edwin Cedillo. I mean, he's been pretty much the starter all year because Gaston's been out. So it's one of those things again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I understand that he was on yellow card accumulation. But yeah, he had been your guy, bro. I mean, all year. You've been pushing Cerrillo all year, and I'm on the Cerrillo train now. What's with you?
I'll talk about Cerrillo a little bit later. So I'm just gonna park it for now.
Okay, you're very mysterious now. Look at
you. Really quick though, some really good. I want to.
You're different in Doc B.
I'm different in Doc B. It's that Bay Area, man. What is it? It's the air that they breathe out here. But some good comments in chat. XPH, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. He says, I know Paintsil is caliber and is talented, but sometimes he gives me Grand Seer Cabral vibes. Ooh, harsh. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. Let me think about that one for a second. That's a very interesting comment. I think it's still wait and see for me. And then Marvin over the top says, to add to that, Paintsil needs to learn how to chill and just let things go, man. Never in the history of a game has a ref changed his mind because someone is complaining directly to his face. Yeah, I think that was uncalled for. I think it was a little bit of a moment of madness, unfortunately, and he just didn't have his head on straight at that moment. And that's surprising coming from an experienced player like him. Remember, he's the guy that's played in a decent, a mid I would say not the top tier of European football, but he's played European football. He's played Champions League.
The Champions League, yeah.
Let's not forget that. He's played in AFCON. He's played in big international tournaments for Ghana. So, something that we don't expect for him. This is an interesting one. GCam, anyone think Cuevas should have been subbed in earlier? I thought, most man, likely. he's always a threat coming off. Yeah. Look, let me put it this way. I would not be mad if he started at left wing next game. I'm just going to leave it at that. And let's see who else. He's proven. I think Raul G's responding. He's proven himself time and time again. Cuevas has speed and chemistry with Peck. Yeah, whether you deploy him on that right or, like I said, I wouldn't be mad if he gets deployed at left wing cover instead of JP, because he's got that speed, he's got the athleticism against a very speedy athletic team on the other side, right? I mean, I'm sure we're going to preview that in the coming weeks here, but as I said, I wouldn't be mad at him, and good shout from chat there.
Man, it's going to be dicey for El Tráfico, man. It's going to be dicey. Let's see what Greg does. We got kind of taken by surprise on what he did with the lineup, so let's see what he does now to refigure for El Tráfico. But let's keep it back and focused on this match here against St. Louis City. We got to a couple of comments here in chat, but let's take it back out to the streets. Let's take it to the people, and let's see what they had to say. The Portuguese Hammer says, Mikovic watching that pass out of the back. Of course, this is the
always
famous,
be throwing.
Yeah, the famous meme right there.
By the way, shout out to you guys in chat. Did you see that, Rob? Our isms are starting to stick, man. Raul G said, not gonna lie, I yelled out, J-Mac, always be throwing, Papa, always be throwing. G-Cam says, dude, I always say ABT. Bro. Yeah, dude, I always say ABT when he has it too. That's so funny. That's awesome, guys. So
well, you know what? Let's have it catch on with Greg. All of a sudden, he just yelling from the side, always be throwing. Then you know.
You should just yell it from the press box. But wait, this is the next tweet. Who's this hack?
I know this guy. He says, I'm going to say, and this is one of your humble co-hosts here, Ananda Kirana. He says, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we can't play out of the back with J-Mac. That's not his game, especially against a high-pressing team. Just kick along, my guy. Still early, though, and luckily that's an early wake-up call. Would it be, though? Would it be? We'll get it. We'll get into more of them.
It was for the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Not even for like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then it. Anyway, we'll get more into that. Chris Tucker in the Carolinas says Marco Rose today, and it's a picture of Jermaine Jones. Jones had that underwhelming stay here with the Galaxy. Yeah, man. I mean, again, I love the player. I just didn't like his particular game in this one, and I think that I'll save it. I'll save it. LA Galaxy 310 says 2 giveaways, 2 goals. Hashtag McCarthy. Hashtag Paintstill. I'll damn. I want to get into it now. I want to get into it now. All right. Total Galaxy says Surreal and Paintstill both currently 1 caution away from a suspension. Fine. Our next match is against LAFC. Would that be important? I wonder. Let's go ahead and see what happens in the story now. You have El Profe, Alex RUIZ, and you have the Podfather, Josh Guessman here. If you were not in the know, our beloved JP in the dying moments of this match, where this match was pretty much done and decided with, decided to go pick a verbal fight with the referee, who promptly gave JP a yellow card for dissent, causing him to earn that suspension for El Tráfico and causing him to leave his team shorthanded a player. So El Profe says, Vanny on Paintstill yellow card. It's unacceptable at this time of the year, and it's made us just a little more vulnerable as we go. That's just stuff that just can't happen. Agreed. Podfather says, biggest disappointment of that game has to be Paintstill's play and ultimately his yellow. I don't blame Vanny for leaving him out there. He's a DP, and you should be able to trust them, but it's a really poor yellow card for no reason, and now he misses El Tráfico.
Yeah, I don't blame Vanny either, to be fair. I like that logic makes sense. He's a DP. That's what you pay. That's what you block out, the space in your salary cap for this stuff, right? For them. I mean, we talk about DP utilization all the time, so we can't really be complaining too much if we're leaving the guy that, DPs that we were complaining about last year that never showed up. So there you go.
Exactly. It's like you can't complain about it and then be like, take him off,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And then the Podfather hits us up with another one, saying League plays the Galaxy at 11:50 body clock time, and they're like, "Where's the pep in the step? These things are fairly predictable. Let's not pretend they aren't." And then you have the counterpoint by our good friend Miggy Gris says, "Not interested in any BS excuses about early kickoff times. St. Louis had home field advantage. It's up to LA to rise to the occasion. Fact of the matter is, the LA Galaxy blew a golden opportunity to separate themselves from LAFC atop the West. RSL isn't dead yet either. Sure ain't."
Yeah.
And then to kind of like reinforce that point, LA is our house says this right here. Any other reason than poor execution? And this is he means a subtweet of Miggy Gris' as tweet. This right here. Any other reason than poor execution is just some BS excuse. St. Louis had 4 wins all season. No reason for the Galaxy to give them number 5. To be fair, St. Louis is a different team than it was.
I agree.
Before the League's Cup, so that's definitely got to be taken into consideration. It's just another team. It just their higher quality players are making a bigger difference, and that can be seen like miles away. But anyway,
and they have and like Mo said, they have a healthier locker room that makes a huge difference. I mean, guys, like look at us, look at what a healthy locker room does, right?
These cats are boys from back in the day. They've played in the academy and like youth program together in Germany and stuff like that. So of course the report's gonna be better. Space Core says Galaxy lose one game and Galaxy Twitter act like the season is over. I love you weirdos. Just in case y'all didn't know, me and Ananda love you weirdos too. And I mean weirdos in the best possible way. I love the fact that we're all effing weird out here, and myself included. I talk to raccoons and dogs, so I can't be too sane. Keeping it going here. Underscore Wolthu underscore says everybody's like Paintstill's bad, Brigham is bad, McCarthy is bad, team does better without Puig on the road. Yoshida is bad. If that had been the case, how did we get to the top and keep our spot? Get some help. That's very impassioned there.
The beauty of fandom. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. Timo Chalamet at Stringbean 670 says people need to effing chill out. We lost. It sucks, but it doesn't change much. Some people may disagree, but it's fine. People are entitled to their opinions. Yes, people are entitled to their opinions.
Yes, they are.
Tony Toscano says, I talk to dogs too, Rob. Man, that's why we get along, baby. That's why we get along. I definitely talk to Kobe all the time, and I most likely will talk to a dog before their owner as well. Ananda knows, he's seen it happen. Girl Fieri at Straw Hat Mary says, still number 1 in the West, so, and it's a picture of like a heart, like what are these EKG machines? Like what are those called?
EKGs. Yep.
Yeah.
Heart monitor.
And it's just like showing we're so back, bro, we're so back, up and down, on the eternal roller coaster ride of Galaxy. Are they back? Are they not back?
That reminds me, I need to hit up shout out VGN Gamer, by the way, Scott. I need to hit him up for I like that little meter that he had for a while. I haven't seen it in a while. He's got to bring that out, man. That was good. That was solid.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I remember what you were talking about.
Yeah, the meter.
Maybe we can get him to come on the show one day and unveil the meter live and in person. And then Miss Trouble at Tina Trouble 138 says, I was offline yesterday. What'd I miss?
No cap, that was me, dude. I was trying to enjoy my weekend. Like I said, I'm on vacation, right? And so I completely disconnected. And actually, Rob, I'm gonna tell you this, man. It was kind of nice. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was kind of like left to my own thoughts. Like I said, I didn't watch like the whole entire game. I probably watched like 60 some odd minutes of it, just the most important bits. I was in the car, but it felt kind of nice. So I was kind of like this too, like, hey, what'd I miss? And then you told me all this stuff, like, oh, okay, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it with chat.
Yeah, so, man. I mean, it was like a lot of like I agree with a lot of the points in a lot of those tweets. And I think there's like maybe one or two more, Ananda.
Yeah. Let me
and then I'll finish my thought here. Yep. Let's Pfaffensteal fan account says your club just got buried by Let's Pfaffensteal, and then burying the Galaxy. Yeah, that's a Let's special right there. for dang sure. But yeah, man, I mean, I was gonna make a point about how, like, you were just like in bliss, kind of just like, thinking
Ignorance
about,
is bliss. Yeah.
thinking about everything else, and I was suffering through that, and like, I like a lot of those tweets mentioned, and like I just mentioned a moment ago, I agree with a lot of the points of some of those tweets. Some of them I'm like, oh man, I don't know about that one, but I think I agree with the larger point in that uh, it's not the end all. It's one loss. It's definitely something to think about. And
Yeah.
it leads us into bigger discussions about if this team is back, if the Galaxy's elite. First off, what do all them shits mean? Like, what do all those terms mean? Like, the only thing that we can judge teams on are trophies. At the end of the day, like that's the indication of whether a team is achieving the benchmark of success. XPH says winning cures all. If Galaxy wins their next game, this loss will be forgotten, at least for that day. No, XPH, people will still find something to complain about, or say Vandy made the wrong substitutions. He had nothing to do with it. But that's again, like, there was a tweet in that deck right there, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's the beautiful thing
Yeah.
about this LA Galaxy community, is that not everyone's going to agree, but everybody wants to see the best for this team. Now, how we get there, that's
I do want to address, like, I did see a thread. I'm sure maybe some of you guys in chat saw it as well, about your point about, like, these conversations about, are we elite? Are we back? Blah, blah, blah. I noticed, like, I just want to, like, bring up two things. Like, one is everyone, I noticed this, people who are 96ers, like you, man, like OGs, right? Their standards are win or bust. And that's just been the way they brought up into this Galaxy culture, right? Whereas I think newer fans, whether you experience MLS Cup with this team or not, I think they'll have a slightly different opinion. So when you look at the opinions that people are giving, I think us as fans, I think we just have to be empathetic to that, right? Like, show empathy to both sides, because they're going to come up. They have different points of view. They have viewpoints on the world based off of
and that's
the
okay.
context. Context of the fan. And I was gonna say, and you're right to cap that off. You're absolutely right, and that's okay. I'm gonna quote the great Judge Sophie, man, Sophie Nicolau. We had her on the show, and what did she say, Robert? Football is about opinions, right? That's all it is. Football is about opinions, and no one has the right opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions, and it's up to us as fans to just kind of talk about it casually over a beer, blah, blah, blah. But it's nothing to get, like, crazy about. And I think we just have to be empathetic to that as fans. But, we have our opinions. And by the way, we have the right to change our opinions based off of what we see and what transpires, because every season, like you said, our opinions from this season are totally different than our opinions from last season. So that's all I'm going to say to that. And amen.
and what a luxury to be having these kind of conversations, where a loss like this is like, nah, these suckers shouldn't have lost. Like, what are they thinking? And then we get like this, because last year it was just a general malaise of oh, they lost again. Like, that's pretty much, yeah, that tracks, yeah, they lost again. But I mean, this year it's what Galaxy fans struck for. It's what they had been dreaming about for 10 plus years of this level of accountability. And now I'm glad that, whether you believe what you believe about the Galaxy, I mean, like Ananda said, it's all good. Everybody has the right to believe whatever they want, but it's just good that we're having this conversation, and like,
this discourse is good. This discourse is fun. I mean,
because it tells you about the progress of this team, man.
And it's just debating. Yeah, it's just, like I said, football is about opinions, and it kind of opens my mind listening to other people, like, chat. Like, you guys say something like, huh, I never thought about it that way. That's interesting. Let's have a conversation about it. And that's kind of how I approach it. But yeah, anyways, we'll leave it at that, chat.
And all the viewpoints that I read on Twitter regarding, like, they're all people that I like a lot, and that I respect, and great football minds, all of them, or anyway, the ones that I read. So, I mean, it's one of the wonderful things about being in this community, is that, like, at the end of the day, everyone's going to be like, hey, we want the Galaxy to win.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna sign off on.
That's
on
the only
this.
absolute. That's the only absolute. Exactly.
Yeah. We want the LA Galaxy to win and to be the best that they can be. Just like that Army commercial. But I'm gonna leave this conversation with this. XPH says, let's not forget Joe Tutino said, Galaxy isn't back until they hoist the trophy, and I think that's what we all want. I think we all want to see the LA Galaxy lift their 6th cup. Now, whether that's your benchmark, whether that's your friend's benchmark, it doesn't matter. Let your benchmark be your benchmark. At the end of the day, the benchmark that matters in the history book is that trophy. It's just simply that trophy. But anyway, let's get back into this match. And dang, now I'm gonna get canceled, Ananda, because I got too into it. But anyway,
no, that was good. That was good conversation. I think that needed to be said. So,
you know what? If we made it this far, we haven't gotten canceled. I think we might be okay. But anyway, this is a match, man, where you look at, again, you look at this team and you go, dang, like y'all really put that one out there, huh? And you just kind of shake your head and say, how did y'all contrive to lose this one? Like, you guys had it; it was there for you. But honestly, like, I kept on thinking about that scene in the movie Cool Runnings where Jamaica gets out there for the first time and they're like already like primed, they're like practice and everything like that, and then they go out there and they lay a stinker, and John Candy's like, you had it, everything was there for you for the taking, and you failed. Like, you just didn't make it happen. And I just kept thinking about that because everything was there for them. But we did talk about trap games, and this game wasn't even that much of a trap game. I mean, because the Galaxy created chances, they just didn't capitalize on them. They worked the ball well on the flank a couple times. John Nelson in particular got into some good positions and sent the ball across the box there, and nothing doing. Nobody got onto the end. But something that Ananda called out to me guys earlier in the day, when we had our discussion with Tommy Scoops, is that the Galaxy had a higher XG in this game, 0.75 to 0.68. They had the same amount of shots on target as St. Louis, and they had one big chance to none for St. Louis. And you guys want to know why? Because the Galaxy basically just gave up goals to St. Louis. Just had another here, have a goal. So anyway, Ananda, you're the stats guy, man. What do the stats tell you, if anything?
You want to go there now, or you want to keep talking about this point? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. On just these particular
just this point.
This is particular.
I think it's just as simple as we're not incisive enough in the final third, and that surprises me a bit, given that Marco Royce was on the pitch, right? I thought he would be the difference maker. He would be the guy to pick the locks and unlock that St. Louis defense, who we talked about it pregame or preview in the match preview with Mo. We know that they are an aggressive team. They cover for each other really well. They cover a lot of ground. I believe there was a stat on Apple TV. I don't remember when they flashed it. I believe in the second half at some point, and they basically showed like all the distances that the players were running, and the most sort of the people that or the players that cover the most distance.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it was like the top 6 were all St. Louis players, no Galaxy player, and so that just goes to show you their level of their work rate, right, as a team. And I just think it's as simple as soccer is a simple game sometimes, Robert. You bury your chances on one end and you defend well on the other. And that's what it came down to. We just didn't get any clear-cut chances. As you said, only one big chance in the 90 minutes. And that's atypical of a Galaxy performance that usually, when we don't dominate the ball, we do have that incision in the final third. In this case, it just wasn't. And, sometimes it's just that. It's just simple execution, right? And not sticking, and maybe either not sticking to the game plan or the players not being able to execute the game plan.
Nah, the game plan was just kind of lost at some point, and that's why Vanny's frustration for sure. We have the one and only Rocio back from St. Louis. Welcome home. She says trap game, exclamation, 4 or 5 times. Yeah, girl, damn, it was a trap game. But she also says paints, I'll give it all away. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna get into that. Ananda's been hearing me chirp about it all day, because I've been hearing and reading about y'all going after JP and Paint Sale and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll get into it. But really, this one came down to mentality, Ananda. We've been talking about mentality all year. What is the mentality of this team? Do they have the mentality to take themselves to the next level? Do they have the mentality to go down a goal and rescue a game? Do they have the mentality to get over mistakes and play their game? Normally, yes. In this one, no. And you know, there was a lot of consequences to them not being able to win this match. On a bigger level, we've mentioned it. They weren't able to take advantage of LAFC dropping points, losing 2-0 to Houston the night before. A win would have opened up an 8-point lead heading into El Tráfico. Like I mentioned, an LA Galaxy win in El Tráfico at that point opens up an 11-point lead with 5 games left for the Galaxy. It's very hard to overcome that kind of lead. Number one would have been all but sewn up. Unfortunately, not to be. Galaxy weren't able to take care of business. Migiri said RSL's not dead. Yeah, they closed the gap to 5 points as well. So LAFC and RSL now behind the Galaxy on 5 points. They both have games in hand. On a micro level, Ananda, just what I saw from the team, they didn't seem hungry. Maybe it was the heat. Maybe like the Podfather said, maybe it was that like body rhythm thing. I did ask them in the lead up to this match, you know, is the early kickoff time going to be a factor at all? And John Nelson said, no. I mean, we just got to go out and play. It did seem like it was a factor, just to myself, to these humble little brown eyes here. But yeah, I mean, did it seem like that to you in what you saw? I mean, did they seem like fit, fighting, like up for it? Or were they sharp? Or I mean, did you see the same thing I saw? That, I mean, they seemed a step behind it, maybe a little lethargic. Maybe the heat was getting to them.
I don't know. I think they were up for it. I think over time, though, the fatigue, I think, got to them. Rob, I was just thinking the whole time as you were narrating that, like, there's something to this. Like, it's a pattern now, which is these away games, these early starts, these away games, especially in heat and humidity, right? There's something about this team, I think, personnel-wise, that just doesn't, they don't fit to this, like they don't perform under those circumstances, and I don't know what it is. So that's something for us to look into, man. If it's a personnel issue, we've got to look into that in the offseason for sure. But yeah, I think that's all I saw. I think they were up for it. It's just maybe the tactics weren't right, or you know, I don't know. I like I said, I probably need to rewatch that game just to see, like, to pick out those things. But no, I don't think it was for a lack of effort. I think it was just like I've been saying, lack of incision in the final third.
Well, you spoke about the game plan earlier. You think they're up for it. So it must be that the players just didn't execute, right? Because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, 2 cheap giveaways led to St. Louis goals, and that really was all that St. Louis was able to generate. Just the Galaxy's defense mistakes, they were able to convert. We saw the first one. John McCarthy was, you know, the prime offender there on that one. And the Galaxy had a chance to get rid of this ball here, and it just didn't happen. Falls very kindly to St. Louis, and they're able to put it away 1-0. The second one, again, I mentioned a couple moments ago, everybody's been going at Paint Sale. I think that he's part of the problem, but I don't think he's the whole issue here. You know, I called out Marco Royce earlier in the pod for being kind of, you know, slow, not to pressure players. You could tell he was laboring in the sunshine. Yes, the pass is loose for sure. And, you know, like no excuses on that. But, you know, as Painsel's teammate, if you see that the pass is loose, your natural inclination is to be like, hey, let me close down this player that picked up the ball, right? That didn't happen. Royce didn't pick up that player, didn't pressure the ball at all. As a consequence, St. Louis is able to work it out to the middle, and then work it out to the wing, where it's crossed in back into the top of the box for the second goal. He's not the only one. Royce is not the only one at fault either. Ananda, you mentioned that Maya and Jalen's positioning could have been better. I agree on watching it back. I've watched this play a couple times now. There was a couple people at fault. Everyone's signaling out JP. Even Greg in his post match conference signaled out JP, and I really think he's the catalyst. He plays the pass, but then Royce doesn't close down. Cerrillo doesn't close down on the runner. The positioning on for Jalen Neal, for Maya Yoshida isn't great either. So I think it's like if they're gonna win as a team, I definitely think it's kind of lose as a team on this one as well. There's a couple people involved in this play. I don't think it's all just JP. He starts it though. I do gotta give that. I mean, am I off about the Royce thing? Like, I mean, please. I mean, I'm happy to. I'm happy to hear something else, but I just don't think he had a great game. And Chris Tucker put up the Jermaine Jones picture. I don't think that's far off. I don't think he had a great game. I just think he was kind of like fighting for it out there.
Like I said, I don't think he was fit. I think he probably would have put in that challenge, get that extra sort of stamina to recover, right? Again, at his age, especially in those conditions, I don't think he's going to make that recovery run, Robert. And maybe I'm giving him too much of the benefit of the doubt, but I don't expect it, right? So that's why I think it was a lot more to do with fatigue. But the one thing, man, it was definitely JP, and it was the way I looked at it again. And I actually thought that he just made the wrong decision. Miguel Berry had his guy pinned, and one of the things that Miguel Berry's introduction to the game was it allowed, remember, Robert, I always talk about these attacking pods and the striker always being the spear that attack. It's the tip of the spear, right? The tip of the triangle. Miguel Berry had his guy pinned, and if JP just trusted that Miguel Berry would have held off his guy, he would have sprung a counter because they were all rushing the other way. So I think it shows little things, and that's training, man. That's just chemistry, building chemistry with your guys, trusting your guys, practicing those situations of getting out of 1-2 quick touch passing to get yourself on the counter. I think, by the way, Ricky would have helped in that position too. I think he could have made a little bit of a better decision as well. I mean, granted, we've seen Ricky also give the ball away in those positions, but when rewatching that play again, it was that pass to Miguel Berry. He had his guy pinned, and I think unfortunately that was not to be, and that sprung, as you narrated beautifully there, just a series of bad decisions there forth. By the way, can't take away from the finish. Excellent finish from the top of the
finish was great.
I mean, it wasn't even a big chance, right? That had a low XG, but it went in the back of the net, clean finish, and that's football. That's soccer.
A chance that never should have happened. But if you guys are putting the blame at JP's feet, I'm not putting it all on him, but he did not help himself at all for his yellow card in the dying moments of this match. Greg labeled it unacceptable. He was asked whether Greg lets the players know about these things, and he was like, yeah, absolutely, he knew, and that's something we'll deal with internally. But I'm more upset about that. The pass is something that it's like that's a mistake on the field, but like the yellow card is really just hurting your team. Greg said it leaves him vulnerable for El Tráfico, leaves him without an option there. And I mean, just you can't replace that kind of speed. So I mean, yeah, that's more what I'm mad about is the lack of composure, the discipline, and really just kind of like leaving your team out to dry a little bit.
I was gonna say, man, can I be mean for just like 5 seconds? But maybe
be petty if you want, I guess.
I mean, maybe it's not a bad thing that JP's out for that. He hasn't been playing well, Rob. He really hasn't. I wanted him to play out of his bad form, but I mean, I know he's a DP and everything, but let's think about the last few games that he hasn't played well. And granted, I'm going to give him this though. He's not playing in his natural position. So I'll give him that, right? He's been playing at the number 9. We're putting a square peg in the round hole. I think he would do a lot better with a focal point striker like a Decky or a Dayon, and of course, Ricky behind him. But maybe it's not the worst thing that he's not. Again, I think I'm being harsh, but it's kind of like you look at it from that aspect and like maybe it gives another guy a chance. Remember, we were saying the same things with when Ricky was out. Diego stepped in beautifully. next man up. And again, I talk about the team, right? This is where the team steps up. This is where the depth of this team comes in. Next man up. Let's see what we do in El Tráfico.
Yeah, for real though. So chat, let us know. What do you think about this JP suspension? Does it leave you worried for the team with the upcoming El Tráfico, or do you think it's a blessing in disguise? How do you think that Greg is going to replace JP? Who do you think he's going to replace him with? Go ahead and let us know in the chat. Let us know what's up. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I agree. I mean, Greg said the suspension leaves him vulnerable. It does. It leaves him without a very important piece. Ananda, you say he hasn't been playing great, but JP has shown that like he has that moment of quality, and he can score the goal out of nothing. So
yeah, I want him to play out of this bad form. Like again, I think I'm being a little overly harsh, but then again, against maybe this is an opportunity for a guy like Mauricio Cuevas. Who knows? We'll see. We'll talk about all the tactics and thinking about that game. But as I flashed in the chat, by the way, chat, let us know too if you're more worried about El Tráfico. I mean, on top of the JP suspension, we haven't shown an ability to beat this team, right? To beat this LAFC team. So I'm just interested. I'm a little more worried because, as I said, Robert, what did I say before coming into this? This is a dress rehearsal for El Tráfico. And the fact that we failed, unfortunately, in this dress rehearsal for a team that plays a very similar style to what we're going to face in El Tráfico, but they do it much better, and they have better players. Okay, now we've got to figure out tactically. It's funny. I haven't actually. I'm going to save it for the preview, but I have maybe an idea or a way that we can sort of counteract. But again, a guy like Mo Cuevas, I wouldn't be mad at it, dude. And I think that would be a great plug and play option in that left wing. His delivery is like sick off of the wing, right? He's always had a really solid delivery, and then he's going to give you that defensive output too. But anyways, I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole. But chat, what do you think? More worried about El Tráfico now that we lost this game and how he lost it? There you go. Question.
Well, Ananda, give us the key stats that won this match for St. Louis.
Yes, sir. So I will push or pull this up there. Rob, you already went through a lot of the highlights here, but possession wise, we did control and dominate most of the possession, 59% to 41. You talked about the XG, very similar. Total shots, very similar as well, 11 to R10. Same shots on target, like you mentioned. And this is the thing, right, Rob? We've only created one big chance out of those 6 shots on target. They didn't create anything here. They had no big chances. So the goals that they scored were well taken goals. And again, Rob, we've seen it a few times this season when we haven't gotten the dub. It's just about being clinical in the final third, not only creating those high XG opportunities, so big chances, but also finishing them. And we just didn't do that. We didn't see those plays. Remember, like Rob, in the first match where JP got in and behind. Mo talked about this in our preview. JP got in and behind a few times on that game. We didn't really see that. And I need to watch that game again, probably, but I don't know if that was just a result of them playing a deeper block, us making poor decisions, like Vanny was saying, like rushing in the final third. I don't know what I attribute that to, but the fact of the matter is we did not get into those chances, right? Hey, here's one positive I'll throw out there, Robert. We only gave up 2 corners and we didn't give up a set piece goal. Yay!
Hey,
victory. That's something, right? Let's build on that.
Is progress. Yeah,
let's build on that. Yeah. So,
well, I like this key stat that you threw at me earlier, that the St. Louis won 46 duels to the Galaxy's 34 duels. I mean, one of the key stats that you brought up in the preview with Mo is that St. Louis, they get stuck in, man. They win a tackle, and it shows. And just like you mentioned that the Galaxy is not a team that's built for like these kind of conditions, they're also not built to play with graft in the midfield. I mean, that's just not really their game.
So I'm glad you reminded me of that stat. So now I'm going to go back to your earlier question about like, what did I see? Was it effort? Was it this? I think that stat is really important. The math tells it all. They won more duels than us, right? Whether it's desire or because tackles won, they were pretty similar, Rob. I looked at the stats. It was 9 tackles won to our 8. So we did get stuck in at certain points, but the duels won, like winning possession back, right? Duels won is the same thing as winning back possession. They won 13 more times than we did. So what does that tell you about our team, right? In those sort of midfield battle situations. And that, to me, honestly, I talked about, when did we talk about this? Which is this idea of, or our galaxy, the defense of the galaxy improving, right? And I harkened back the quote that AJ De La Garza said in the Corner Galaxy live show, which is, Bruce always told him to win all your battles, win all your duels. And I think that's the one thing against a team like LAFC that worries me. That stat worries me, in that we're not winning enough of those duels. We have to win some of those midfield duels, some of those duels in the final third, to then springboard our attacks, springboard our counters, win the ball high up the pitch. So again, we'll put a little lens on it. We might even do a Los GATACTICOS on that, actually, now that I think about it, but we'll get there later. So I think duels won, man, that stat is a really big indicator, and I think that's why I pulled that up. So yeah, something to watch for sure.
Now, when you talk about it in context of what Bruce says, it makes a lot of sense. Well, guys, the loss is it hurts, but it's not the end all. Like I mentioned, in 17 road matches played across all competitions, the Galaxy now hold a 6-6-5 record. Keep in mind they are undefeated at home, so really the troubles have been on the road. So again, a mark of a championship winning team is winning all your home matches and making sure you get at least a point on the road. The LA Galaxy hold a record of 5-5-4 in 14 road matches played in 2024. In 30 matches played across all competitions in 2024. Gabriel Pecchi ranks first on the Galaxy with 13 goals and 11 assists. That makes 24 goal contributions in his debut season. We asked Judge Sophie, we asked Phil, who they thought the most important player on this Galaxy team was. They both did not give a like specific person, but definitely they spoke about Gabriel Pecchi being one of the most important, and the stats don't lie. So anyway, the moment of this match, even though it was a loss, I'm trying to keep it positive here. So Dayon's return,
Yes.
he was sorely missed. 12 goals on the season so far, and you could tell that he is chomping at the bit, and he wants more. So it's great to see him back. He played about 20 minutes all told between regular time and stoppage time, and now the Galaxy go into the break. So hopefully when he comes back, he's going to be ready and raring to go for El Tráfico, because that boy likes to score against LAFC. So hopefully he's ready for that one. Ananda, it's a loss. It's always hard to pick defending the badge in a loss, but we have four candidates here. Mickey Yamane, Maya Yoshida, Miguel Berry, and Gabriel Pecchi. Maya had one chance created, 11 passes into the final third. 3 clearances, 2 interceptions, 13 recoveries, 5 duels, and was fouled 3 times. Mickey Yamane had 1 chance created, 5 passes into the final third, 4 clearances, 1 interception, 6 recoveries. Miguel Berry notched his first career assist off that lovely back heel to Gabriel Pecchi in his 45-minute cameo. He had 1 chance created, 2 duels, 1. And then Gabriel Pecchi, he recorded the Galaxy's only goal, completed 2 dribbles, won 7 duels, 2 tackles, and was fouled twice. And before we announce your winner, Ananda, who do you got?
Oh, this might be controversial, but I'm actually going to agree with GCam. Berry, I don't know if he was being sarcastic about this or if he was serious, but I'm actually going to give it to Berry, man. Why? Just because, again, I think about defending the badge not only as who played the best, but I'm not going to lie, man, he changed the game, especially for that first few minutes in that goal, right? One thing that we missed in this game was just having that focal point to like bounce,
throw a body on fools.
Well, not only throw a body, but just play those 1-2s that we like to at the top of the box. Decky's really good at that. And I'm going to be fair to Betty, man. He's improved on his 1v1 sort of pinning defenders, not losing them. Remember how we kind of complained a lot earlier in the season of how much he would lose possession? He actually kept the ball pretty darn well, Rob. I don't know.
He did.
I don't know if you caught that. And I was like, oh, go on, Miguel. Go on, Miggy. Like go on with your damn self. Like, and he impressed me in his cameo, man. And he got that assist. Again, a great layoff. And that's what he's there for. He's going to be that tip of the spear to pin defenders, hold them back, play those 1-2s that we like at the top of the area. And that's why I'm giving it to him especially based off of the fans' expectations of him, which is not high, right? I mean, we bought another attacking option. I guess that just shows that, even the team is maybe not as convinced with our backup striking solution. Again, if you guys watch that RUIZ video, we talked about RUIZ sort of being a creative option to our backup striker solution that hasn't been as convincing, at least according to the fans. But Miguel stepped it up, man, and I'm going to give him his flowers. And so he gets my defending the badge.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be contrarian. I'm gonna give it to the goal scorer, because he's not let up. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if by the same metric, if we're gonna talk about defending the badge, it's the guy that's always just putting the team on his back. And yeah, man, he stepped up when he needed to, scored the goal. And yeah, so that's my guy, Gabriel Pecci.
Yeah.
I mean, Raquinho unfortunately did not play in this one, so can't give it to him. So I got to give it to Gabriel Pecci. And yes,
now I was gonna say I agree with Rocio on this one too. We should have found him more, man. We just didn't get him. We didn't unwind him this game. We didn't unleash the beast. Unfortunately,
we didn't get either of them, Pecci or Peck in behind. I mean, there was a couple times. There was a couple times where they tried and the pass is just a little bit long or a little bit wide, and there was actually one where he got the ball in and very, very uncharacteristically he just, I don't know what happened to this cat, but he just let the ball roll right under his foot and it went out, and it was like he even looked at the ball like, dude, did that just happen? It did. But the ball, like, that was a great ball. He just, for whatever reason, couldn't handle it. So anyway, I picked Pecci. You picked who did you pick? Who did you pick? Miguel?
Miguelito.
Miguelito. Both worthy candidates. But of course, we're gonna leave it to the people. Your four candidates picked out of those. You picked, drum roll please, with 94 million votes. Gabriel Pecci wins match day 30, defending the badge. Congratulations to him. I think that's like his 8th or 9th, bro. Like,
yeah,
definitely like 6th or 7th, right?
7th. Yeah, I think it's 7 now. Yep, 7
Ooh,
officially.
I mean, we've been promising you guys a chart. We might make one by the end of the season. Who knows? Keep calling us out on that. Who knows? Like, just be like, hey, where's that defending the badge chart? And then I will get it going. Hey, why are you pointing at me, dog? Why are you pointing at me, dog? Come on. That's
I'm not the Canva artist on this pod. So there you go.
Oh man, come on. He just put me under the gun right there. All right, guys. Well, yeah, that's Galaxy loss. Not the most crazy end all thing in the world, but it's certainly disappointing. You expect the Galaxy to win this match.
We talked about rebounds, and I think that is sort of the mentality of this team, right? We focus on the next game. We usually bounce back. That's the word I was looking for. Bounce back ability of this team. And what a way to
Rebound.
do it against. What a way to do it against your noisy neighbors down the street. Again, that's going to be a fantastic watch. That's a must-see event. Can't wait to preview it. But let's forget this one, like we always talk about with losses. Let's not overreact. Let's not get too high. Let's not get too low. Let's just kind of say even keel. We know what this team is. We know what they're capable of. Let's see this team bounce back against El Tráfico. And that's, hey, if you told me, hey, for you to win the El Tráfico, I need you to lose this game, but then you're gonna win El Tráfico. Shoot, I'll take it. So it's important that we win that one.
Well, it's important that when you lose, you don't lose the lesson. Like another Lacuna Galaxiana-ism right there. But what does this loss do to the Galaxy? Through 28 matches played in 2024, they have a 15-7-6 record with 52 goals for, 36 goals against. They are on 52 points at the moment and still in first place in the Western Conference standings, 5 points ahead of LAFC, 5 points ahead of RSL. But LAFC has 3 games in hand. RSL has 1 game in hand. The Galaxy lost some ground in the Supporter Shield, but they are still second in that race, 7 points behind leaders Inter Miami, who has a game in hand over the Galaxy, 1 point ahead of FC Cincinnati, and 3 on Columbus, who is honestly like, out of all the teams that are pushing for the Supporter Shield, whether it's Cincinnati, LAFC, Inter Miami, honestly, Columbus is the one that is most scary to me. Ananda, that man Wilfred Nancy doing his thing over there. Big shouts out to the team that Don Garber tried to kill. They're still here and still kicking and still getting trophies. But anyway, the Galaxy are averaging 1.86 points per game, and again, Ananda, this is a couple of weeks to gather yourselves mentally and get even more fit and make sure this team is ready to go, because coming up, we've mentioned it a couple times, we have a big match to watch because the Galaxy is playing number 2 in the West, LAFC, at home for the 24th all-time edition of El Tráfico. That'll be on Saturday, 9/14 at 7:30 p.m. Of course, we'll be bringing you an El Tráfico preview on Thursday, September 12th at 9 p.m. And if you guys missed it, just in case anybody that walked in a little bit late to the show, on Thursday, we do have our Tommy Boger episode, so be watching out for that. That's on Thursday night, September 5th. So if you know ball, if you want to know ball, Tommy's the guy to watch, and we were just lucky enough to have him. So that'll be on Thursday night. Catch that.
I'm gonna plug that too. We just recorded that this morning, guys, and I mean, Tom's such a pleasure, and he's not only a brilliant mind, but just a really, really good guy. So make sure you guys catch that episode again. We won't be live with y'all, so we're gonna miss you on Thursday, but we will be back with a live show the following Monday, and leading up to El Tráfico. Leading up to that El Tráfico, guys, and Rob's working on a few things. Maybe we might get a few surprise guests on that you guys will love. So keep it locked with us as always.
Well, G-Cam says San Raquinho rega por nosotros. Yeah, man, rega por nosotros, because I'm working on something for that El Tráfico preview that if comes off, I know you guys are gonna love, and I just hope that we can make it work. And then on Monday, the 9th, we also have something in the works that you guys will enjoy. So hopefully all of that shakes out, and we can bring you all this fun stuff. And you guys aren't just stuck with these two hacks. But if you're stuck with these two hacks, we'll still have fun with you guys. You guys will just have to put up with us. But I think that's pretty much it, man. I think that brings us to the end. Like Janet Jackson said, is this the end? I think it is, man. Do you have anything else to add?
As you always know, man, I always leave last word to chat, and I want to leave it in a positive note. So I will put up a comment from the great man himself, XPH, executive producer Herb. I love that this is what we're talking about instead of the last several seasons, frustrations, disappointments, ineptitudes. And I'm going to leave it at that. And you know what? I heard this on a different podcast, but I'm going to leave you guys with this too. Again, we always want to try to leave it in a positive note, which is sometimes when you're so fixated on the destination, you forget the journey. And I think it happens a lot to us fans, whether of any sport, of any team, right? So guys, definitely we want to stay fixated on not winning that 6th MLS Cup, but let's not lose sight of where we were and where we came from and how we got here. I think we all should enjoy the journey, just like life, right? So let's just enjoy it, guys, for what it is, and let's keep working towards that destination. Let's keep this, putting this team on a set of standards that we know this team to be. But let's, again, like I said, let's keep in mind the destination, but don't lose sight of the journey. I'm just going to leave you guys with that.
Bay Area Ananda is different. What have you been eating and drinking up there, man? all zen, man. Like, yes, no, but I agree.
Vibes,
yeah, no, I agree, definitely. Like, everything that the Galaxy go through this season, if they don't win MLS Cup, till that moment when they win MLS Cup is going to be part of that journey. You've heard of great championship teams talk about it was really this loss or this moment that brought us together, and then finally when that trophy, they all point to that. I mean, it'll be these moments that brings this team together. So yeah, that's where we are. Lacuna Galaxians, LA Galaxy fans, the Galaxy have 2 weeks off before El Tráfico, the 24th edition. It's going to be a big one. After this one, the Galaxy will only have 5 matches left, a possible 15 points, and they're trying to stave off rivals like LAFC and RSL from coming and taking that first place in the West. It's going to be a fun ride. Stick with us here on this podcast. If you're here, you found us at youtube.com / Lacuna Galaxiana. And thank you so much for doing so. We appreciate you spending the time with us. And only one thing left to say. GCam said it. San Marquino ruega por nosotros. And G's up. Extra long one today, y'all.
You and I.
Ooh, ooh.